mean, who am I to strangle her possibilities? Hey, Critic Boxers, guess what time it is? It is time to start discussing the Penguin. Yay! I'm one of the hosts, Jared. This is the other host, Andrea. We just finished watching episode 8 of The Penguin, the final episode, the one to end it all. A lot to think about, a lot to process, and we're here to talk about it. Thank you for everybody who's liked, subscribed, and kept up with us from episodes 1 through 6. Your comments have been wonderful, some of them vacant, but also the ones that were there were wonderful, and a lot of discussions about this, which, by the way, if you've not seen any of The Penguin, first of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, it's probably because you're waiting for all the episodes to come out so you can just binge watch it in one go. I understand that. That's healthy. Welcome, whatever it is that you finally got around to watching it, and all the 1 through 6, welcome to 7 and 8, baby. We did it. We got through it all. And let us begin. First of all, hi, Andrea. How are you doing after watching episode 8? How you feeling? I watched it last night, so I went through all the emotions of processing. This is Andrea in the moment now. Not 5 minutes ago did we just finish that episode. How's it hitting?
I'm not okay with a lot of the decisions they made, like as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
As creative, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
But that hit.
Still hits.
That hit
hard. It pokes the heart.
He's a villain. I've said this.
He's a villain.
Go. People who are like, oh, he's not that bad. No, he's a villain, and
he's a likable guy. I get his point of view. No, he's a bad guy.
The creators, the writers, they let you know that as much as you may like him, as much as we made him a likable character, as much as Colin Farrell,
he's a likable antagonist.
As much as Colin Farrell acts his ass off,
and acts so well.
Very good job playing this character. Yep. This character is a straight up asshole.
Dick. Yep.
This is the adult version of everything that DC has been giving us before. And I'm not okay as a person. As a creative, I love it.
Yep.
The person?
So let's get to it. Before we get to everything that's going to be an 8, let's talk about 7 real quick. 7 was a build-up of the fuckery that was stacking against Oswald throughout the whole thing. 7 was his mom not only got kidnapped, but she is getting interrogated and tortured a little bit. But she's revealing like her condition, her what was it? Her type of dementia. Lewy's body, I believe it was. Anyway, it was like she was having like flashbacks and recollecting and everything. And Sophia caught on to that. And she was like, oh, I'm going to get some hot goss on Oz. But then she got a lot more than she thought she was going to get. So much so that she brought in her hot doctor boyfriend to come in and start analyzing things. Which, can I just say, I feel like I love Theo Rossi. He has an intense stare whenever he's doing something. You ever notice that he'll just kind of like stare and he'll just like look at somebody like this, whatever. He has an intense glare. Loved him, but I felt like I didn't get enough of him. How did you feel about him? I mean, I like the little tryst that he was like him and Sophia were having and everything, but I feel like he's just like, oh, he's just there to push the plot a little bit. Like you didn't get a whole lot of Dr. Julian Rush in this.
I agree with you. I feel like he was there to fill in the gaps where there were holes. Like
it's like when you needed a responsible adult in the room. That was the doctor.
It wasn't that he was that responsible. I mean, he was a part of Sophia's story because he was the one person when she was in Arkham that she could connect with. Fun. And him being there increased the storytelling about her heartbreak and her trauma and her torture while she was there because she had that one person and all of a sudden he left her and abandoned her too. Okay, whatever. She gets out and then she gets into trouble because, Oz leaves her to the freaking wolves after she gets run over in their confrontation with the Maronis, and he's the one person that she can call. She decides to take over the family, kill off the rest of her family, call herself a gigante, and she needs a boy toy. Like, it was simply there
Don't
to
we all?
holes in Sophia Falcone slash Gigante's life. And that's
Mm-mm.
fine. Could I have done with more of him? I really need more of him. I mean, I knew what he was there for. He did a good job acting it. I'm but he was her tool. He was her toy.
Yeah,
That's fine. We all need one of those. Every
still
main
is at the yeah, still
he
is at
was
the end of episode 8.
essentially he was her sidekick. And
Oh yeah,
every character needs a sidekick. So
every supervillain needs a number one henchman.
yeah, and that's
Yep.
fine.
And so we get to dive into the past, the fucked up past of Oswald, and how do we even begin to touch on all of that? That whole situation of Oz had brothers, and then he just grew up to be a sociopathic mama's boy.
He
Whereas
was
like it's all about you, mama.
he was always a sociopathic mama's boy. If you remember in the beginning of episode 7 where he was cleaning his braces, his leg brace there, and he went to his mom and he dealt with as a mother. And shout out to that child actor, whoever
Oh,
that.
excellent. Who? Oh, is
Oh
he?
my
Do I get to
goodness,
see? Is he there? Oh, yeah. No, no, that was one. Where is he?
he was fantastic. Literally captured my attention off the top. But
Right?
he always even
Yeah, but
little Oz treated his mother like a girlfriend as opposed to a mother, and he wanted
hmm
her all to himself, and that was clearly evident. And it was a little weird, but it was told in a delicate fashion, so you kind of understood his adult trauma and why he acted the way he did. And a lot of parts in episode 8 where any well-adjusted human being would be like,
yeah. And then no, and then the thing that hit Sophia fucking hard, what swept Sophia off her feet was her niece in the foster home. And I rewatched that before we came on there because and that was a powerful
"Mhm,
moment because in that interview because it's like what was it, somebody tipped her off like, oh, by the way, Sophia, your niece is starting to talk, she's starting to point fingers at you, you may want to tie up that loose end, whatever. She went there, visited the dog, and she visited the girl, and she had a discussion, and without trying, accidentally Sophia realized, oh shit, I'm ruining this girl's life. I think she immediately realized she was so focused on her own agenda that she forgot oh no, oh yeah, I did go and kill your family, didn't I? Yeah, I did do that. I did set you off on that. And she started, and like the little girl had like scratches on, cuts on her and everything. And she's like, oh shit, that me. Like she saw herself in her niece. And she had to be like, hey, look, girl, your family shit. Our whole family was shit. So don't you feel bad for them, but you be a better woman from that. And then she immediately recognized, who the fuck am I? What am I doing that's different than anything her dad did? You know, like what like I'm still playing. And even whenever he's talking to Oz's mom was saying like, "Oh, you changed your name from from Falcone to Gigante. Congratulations! I done changed the fucking game, sweetheart. Drugs is drugs, and it's still the same game, and you don't know it. Oz does." And Sophia, you could see the math clicking in her head of like, I need to get out of this town before this town kills me, or before I just do the same thing. And that is where you see that Sophia's direction start veering a different way.
she finally took her uncle's advice. But it's just amazing that you just said that. You could see the gears turning in her head of making that decision. That is a credit to the acting in the show, because you end up actually believing that these people are thinking what you think they're thinking, as opposed to just recalling lines that they've memorized from a script. That is the
Mm-hmm.
writing, that is the acting, that is the directing, that is the cinematography, the composition. All of it just came together and told an amazing story. This is a world. This is this is world building at its finest, in my opinion.
this is a show that you can like. It's like watching Sopranos. Obviously, I mean, very similar vein. Of that, you can watch it a second time and notice things differently. Watch it a third time and notice something else differently. That's what a show is. That is what as you were saying, what composition is like. Subtle notes in acting. Like they know what's happening down the road, but the character doesn't. But the actor plays that in such a certain way that beautiful, just beautifully done, beautifully told.
Exactly. And I episode 7 had me because I was just like, well, obviously Sophia has the upper hand, and but it's not her show.
But for a hot second, Salvatore had the upper hand. Salvatore is not only, wonderfully played by Clancy Brown, which I believe he's 7'9" giant. Like I believe he's a huge guy, but fucking talented as hell. He is a great representation of the old school of thought in that underworld. Of like, he is like one of the last vestiges of the old world. Like, I mean, Sophia killed off all of the rest of her family, so they're all gone. He's the last one, and he just has pure meat and potatoes, black and white revenge on his plate. And that's what he's dishing out on Oz. Boom, comes in, crashes, plans on taking over Bliss, got the whole thing, whatever. Me and Sophia, we got things working on him, and then Oz breaks that up. Salvatore just comes in. Salvatore didn't look like he had the next step figured out yet. Like, he just knew that he was gonna, I got the Bliss distribution, I'm gonna take Oz, put him in the vehicle, take him to Sophia, we're gonna kill him, I'm gonna get back to my old thing, whatever. He had no concept of what the actual, like, temperature of Gotham was at the time. He just had revenge, pure, this step, then I'm gonna do this step later, then I guess maybe that step later if it ever comes up. He didn't really wasn't thinking ahead, he was in the moment, and then he went up and had a heart attack. Best laid plans.
It's all too much.
Too much pressure, too much heat.
What? Well, I mean,
old man didn't take care of his ticker.
The writers had to give him that because Oz was not going to be able to kill him.
He did not have the upper hand in that fight. Like Oz got, as Oz does, fucking luck's on his side. Oz, fucking Cloud9, he's gathering his guys who are all just working in a drug factory. They're not soldiers, but then he's like, hey, you're not soldier, but you're in my army now. That's what we gotta do. And then he gathered them all up, and they were like, yeah, we're all gonna fight with you. And then Sophia's plan stepped in. And I gotta say, Sophia's plan was solid. That was solid. Smart. She's like, I'm gonna change the game. I'm not gonna do this textbook like we used to. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking get rid of you. Like, I'd love to put a piping hot bullet inside of your head personally, Oz. But you know what? I'm gonna send this vehicle in here, and I'm gonna blow the shit out of this entire operation. And if you live, then I'll come and get your ass.
And what I loved about that is because, again, it was like this Sophia went Joker-esque on us in a way.
Oh,
and I really feel that if they had given this team of creatives the Batman movie, it would have been such a better ending.
Riddler who? Riddler who? Like, I mean, I honestly, if they win,
was it the Riddler or the Joker? I was watching.
It was Riddler.
It was Riddler. Okay, fine.
It was Riddler. Yeah.
She embodied that. It's like that's how you bomb something. You're like, yeah.
Look, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go full comic book and dress up sticks of dynamite with a wig on it to look like his mom, and then he gets close like, oh, wait a minute.
Is that you?
Is that you? It's talking. I can't see you. Say something, Ma. But then, boom! Crooked Cop comes up and is like, Sophia wants to see you. Crack. End of episode 7.
Yeah.
And
I
that
know.
was just chips stacked against the man.
And then that's why I was just like, in episode 8, how's he gonna get past this? And
How you gonna do
they
that?
did. I mean, they did it. Why are you bringing up episode 8? I
Because we're
know.
now talking about episode 8. Hi, Critic Box.
Oh,
Thank
I
you for
don't want.
sticking around for episodes 1 through 7. Now we're gonna just throw Andrea on top of the cheese grater and talk about episode 8. The episode she's not done emotionally
I'm getting my
processing
gloves.
just yet.
You could start talking about episode 8. I'm getting my gloves because episode 8. Oh my god.
Get your gloves, girl. Get your gloves. We're going to talk about this. You get the vibe that she had repressed all of this. Like, because the relationship and dynamic between her and Oz is just, we're just, like, hey, we're in this world together. I'm going to make you into what you got to be, whatever. And then you get the real backstory of the mom after the death of her 2 boys. She knows Oz did it. She ends up talking to, was it Rex? Rex. Which, by the way, easy on the eyes, this guy. He was the underground mob guy for their neighborhood on the east side, and he approached her and was like, look, let me pay for the kid's funeral, let me, something nice, send him off just nice and everything. And she was like, it ain't about that, it's about my Aussie. He's a monster. I'm living with the devil. He's the fucking devil. And then Rex, man of the people, was like, let me take care of your son. Oh, I look at this silk glove, Andrea. Oh, I love it. Those look very comfortable and very soft and very warm. Look lovely. So I had to change hats. My other hat was too tall, so I got my shorter hat on. Subtle difference. Put it in the comments section if you notice. And so then like you get the whole thing of like that mom, like because Oz remembers it like, my mom, she was all down and everything, and then one day she picked herself up and she was like, let's go watch some jazz. I can't live my life like this. We're gonna live happy or whatever. And then he remembers that being like the up and up. But then you see the mom's remembering of that whole situation. She's like, I took him to that jazz club because Rex was going to fucking take him out. He's going to kill him that whole night. I was excited about it. I was looking forward to it. Take my baby away from me. And then Oz, somehow, he has been bestowed by the patron of fucking luck or timing. He didn't even know what was going on. And he still talked himself out of getting killed. Like, that was like the first time that he talks himself out of getting killed, and he just maintained that the rest of his life. I don't know how Oz does it, but he does it. And he convinced his mom, he's like, you and me, Mom, we're going to do this together, right? Yeah, I'm going to get you everything. You're going to get a penthouse. You can see all Gotham. It's going to be great. And
she took a hit out on her own kid. Bottom line, she took a hit out on her own.
I can't say one way or the other. I can't blame, she just lost her 2 boys from the third boy. The third boy killed the 2 boys. Like, I don't, that's some headspace, man. That is some headspace. I can't imagine what that's like.
No, I can't. I can, because I probably, if I was her mother, or I was Oz's mother in that case, I mean, I probably would have felt the same amount of rage. And I don't know how she, or how they wrote the character to pretend like she didn't know for all of those years, and still, like, it must have been a blessing for her when she got dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it was, so she could forget certain parts. Because to remember that, and you see what type of mother she was,
and the dynamic between them, like I mean, it just, you got like that they got along well. But then, like, this comes up, and it's almost like, did the dementia delve that back up? Did she repress that and, like, and then, like, started going down that, like, Sophia and the doctor started, like, following her down that train, and then she opened a door she hasn't opened in a couple of decades and realized, oh, my God, this whole time, like, oh, yeah, that's right, I'm son of the devil. I forgot about that.
No,
like,
I think she literally just had to put that out of her mind and put it aside in order to continue raising him. Because if it had been anyone in real life, they would have dropped him off at the street corner, probably severely beaten, to let whoever pick up. Like, you killed your brothers, dude.
That's fucked up. It's real fucked up.
It's horrible.
And then, oh my God, then everything else that Oz does, like, well, yeah, they're in the jazz club, and then he literally just, like, Mama Boy strength, breaks out of that chair that he was strapped to, he's fucking stabbing guys, shoot out, fireman carry through his mom over his shoulder, and just, like, limped his ass out of that jazz, like, lounge, like, holy shit, Oz! Like, my mom! Like, fucking, like, did it, man. He got out of there, and oh, shit. And then what happened after
Oh
that?
my
Hold on, I'm trying to remember.
that he was so close to letting his mother's finger getting chopped off because he didn't want to look bad in front of her. But yet you would let the woman lose a finger?
I think, I mean, yeah, that he was gonna let them up. I mean, then Sophia was like, then the mom got out and started coming up and harassing the boy, and she was like, "Well, this is better than I expected," like, but it's like, but then I was like, I'm not going to admit shit to my mom. I mean, to this point, you still don't know what his mindset was or his reasoning was at the time, or at all. But I mean, he was like, he's not gonna look bad in front of his mom. He's not gonna admit shit to her. And like, okay, she'll lose a finger, but then he's like, well, she's also losing her mind. You can lose a finger too. She'll forget it. I mean, or maybe he's just like some bad thoughts going on in his head or something. I don't know. But
No, he was the quintessential shot. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. I didn't see it. Son, I saw you. You are clearly caught on whatever. I saw you with my own two eyes do this thing. What? No, that wasn't me. Are you sure it was me? You're mistaken, Ma. What's wrong with your eyes, Mom? Me? He's like he never grew past that certain state of boyhood.
yep,
You always regressed back to that. And that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Then he set up Sophia. He's like, the thing on the east side, that was Sophia. There was a big drug thing down there. I didn't know anything about it. But, some other, Salvatore, he was all there. He's down there, by the way. He blew it up, and then it's all there. So, you know what? You got to get rid of her, and you're going to look like a fucking hero. And then, maybe I'm welcome here in City Hall. Who knows? Like, he just set himself up beautifully. Like, I'm not going to say it's a retirement package, but, like, he set himself up for success.
He snitched.
He snitched. In a very intelligent way.
After he got out of the courthouse and then the guy came up to him and he was like, yo, Sophia wants to see you. I was lost after that point. I'm like, I don't know how it got to a point where everyone was so coordinated to kill their bosses and then, the underlings.
It was Victor. It was Victor that did it. Because remember, like, whenever, like, Victor thought that, like, Oz was still in that crater, and he was talking to the other guys. He's like, look, we all got to go get him, okay? We got to do something about this, whatever. It's us versus those big guys. The big guys did this, look, fucking did tap dance around us. And all the other bigger guys are like, what are you going to do? It's weakness, moving on. And I feel bad. I'm like, what is the dude's name? It was like Timmy. No, it's not Timmy. Theo. I think it's, no, I forgot his name. Let me know in the comment section. I totally forgot his name. He was like, he's the one that went up and like punched Victor in the stomach and was like, yeah, watch your mouth, whatever. But I think that was also like, yo, dude, shut up. All right, I'm with you. It's just we can't talk right now. I'm like, that was his like, be cool, dude. And then like as soon as Sophia put out that bounty on Oz's head, whatever, he heard that and was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Same old shit. Same round and round we go. We need to change this game. And he had a plan. He got Victor in on the plan. He got Oz in on the plan. And it worked. It's coup time, baby. Everybody gets a coup. The Souths get a coup. Russians get a coup. The Polish get a coup. Everybody kill your boss. And it worked.
It did work. And he showed sympathy to... Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
He showed
Sorry. That is... I gotta message my wife. She's calling me.
I like that. He showed sympathy and mercy to Sophia because he could have killed her and he did not. Although I don't know how he got away so silently with that club foot. So listen, writers, I mean, I get where you're trying to... I get what you were trying to do, writers, and that would look nice. But
how was he able to just like and then get in the car?
Yeah.
I mean,
so silently, and she didn't even know. Like, really?
Yeah. I mean, beautifully done, beautifully visually for a show, worked out wonderfully. Physically, I have questions, but but it worked. And then he got back to the hospital. He's celebrating. He's the king. He's on top. I'm not exactly sure what Oz has at this point. I mean, it seems like every other family is like they're the new ones on top. I don't know what Oz has, to be honest. I'm not positive what he's running at that moment.
He's got the respect that he's always wanted.
He's got respect, sure. I guess that can afford you
He
a
has
nice
the control.
penthouse at a very seedy, depreciated building, but
He has control of the drug game in Gotham. Like he
yeah,
is the boss. He's the top boss in Gotham.
I
And
guess
Sophia
he's the
Falcone is
lead, yeah.
Sophia Falcone is out of his way. She can't kill him. He's
She's
taking care
behind
of
bars now.
Salvatore Maroni is dead.
Hmm.
He's got the drugs.
Yep.
His mom is alive.
Persistent vegetative state, but alive.
But alive.
And Sophia has her sister, her half sister Selena. They're going to be pen pals now. I'm very happy for her.
Did they give her Catwoman for real?
What do you mean give her cat? Well, oh, you mean Selena Kyle being the half sister?
Yes. Yes, they gave
Yes, because
Cat
in the movie The Batman, I think they needed to make her. I think they underused her a little bit. Or I mean, I was happy with her performance. I was happy with the whole thing, but I feel like they needed to she needed to be more connected. Like she needed to be more tied in a little bit.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Batwoman or Catwoman will always be iconic.
Untouchable.
Always.
I mean, I'm an Eartha Kitt man myself. But you're right. But yeah, her Michelle. We've had some good Catwomen.
I
And Lady Kravitz, I feel like there could be more. We needed a little bit more from Lady Kravitz.
I had Halle Berry's Catwoman on repeat, but that was a standalone film.
That's yeah. Nobody is going to join you on. Let us know in the comments section. How do you feel about Halle Berry's Catwoman?
Tell us that it was a great Catwoman.
Let us know how great did you think Halle Berry was as Catwoman?
She
Halle
was.
Berry, see us in the comments section. How do you think you did in the
I
Catwoman?
think she did well.
That's right, she did, as in her Razzie acceptance speech. So I feel like I mean, Sophia's back behind the bar, and back behind the bar, so she's living her life. She's like, God damn it, I'm back here again. She's like, just when I thought I was out. I'm like, Sophia, you could have got out at any time, but you kept sticking to your plans. Anyways, so she's back behind bars again. That mansion, sure to get an Emmy. And then we get to Oz and Victor.
Pour one out to Victor, y'all. Seriously.
Why do you think Oz had to kill Victor? Why did Victor have to go?
Because his contract was up.
Oh, look, you couldn't get Renzi Feliz for 2 seasons. You couldn't afford him. He's too good. He's the one that's costing this show a lot of money. Look, I'm sorry, Renzi. Your writers are too expensive. We can't keep that up. That's a budget eater.
No. No. I honestly, so I think this show is very much a microscope or a magnifying glass on the human condition. And with the human condition, it's just like sometimes when you are advancing in life and you think you're going forward in life, you cannot bring everybody with you. And it really feels like Oz, the character, felt like he could not bring everybody with him. And somehow Victor was going to become a liability, even though he had just finished saying, or Victor had just finished saying that they were like family. And maybe it was because Oz's mother is in the state that she's in where she can't talk. So even if she were to be a liability, there's really not much she can do to out him.
She's more like just a figurehead at this point. She's a breathing doll, a breathing mom doll now in her little bed with look with real tears.
Yes, it's mommy.
But I think it even said it's because it's like we like family. But family makes you fucking weak, and he can't do that anymore. Like he put his heart out, and his mom getting kidnapped, like almost fucking brought everything crashing down, and he can't have his heartstrings out there. And he loved Victor too much, but he's like, he knew he was going to be a liability to him
I
because
I don't even
anything
think
happens to Victor, Oz ain't thinking right. He's got to do things, I think that was his rationality. It's like it's simpler to just like,
a,
like have nothing, no attachment, harden your heart.
a villain could only love so much. He was willing to get
Mhm.
his mother's finger chopped off. He will kill anyone if it means him getting on top. He made an alliance with Sophia and left her for dead out in the middle of an alleyway. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that he may have loved or cared about Victor. He probably was reliant on Victor and did not want to feel that reliance on him anymore.
Yeah,
And in a sense, it was poetic justice because in the first episode, he was going to kill him anyway.
he was.
It's
He just extended his life.
it's just that the writers just like, yeah, you're going to care about Victor now. We're going to tell you
You're gonna give
all
it.
about Victor. We're going to make you love this relationship between Oz and Victor. And then at the end of it, just so you don't forget this show, wow, boom.
Mm. Yep. Just Viewers, let us know in the comments section how you felt about that, about your heart being wrenched out and suffocated by the penguin next to a beautiful lake. Because and then you know what? I had the idea. This was my idea beforehand, and let us know in the comment section what you thought about what your ideas were about other things. My idea was going to be that he was not going to have a choice. He was going to have to let his mom die or him do it himself, and that is what was going to harden him to become the supervillain he was destined to be. Like that was going to be it. But we kind of got a little bit of that. But she's still alive, vegetative state, perfect for him. Now Oz can just dote over her until she dies, and then just love the skeleton like in Psycho. But no, it was the killing of Victor that did it. That was that's what pushed him over the edge and made him a DC comic book villain that Penguin was destined to be.
I'm surprised you're just now seeing this because he was a villain from the freaking get.
He always was. He always was. But you just wanted to be like, how did he power play himself to that situation? Like he seems too likable. There's got to be something.
He set a mother and son on fire, alive.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? Plus they were Salvatore's family. Fuck Salvatore, right? They're not people. They were dicks to begin with. All right. It was when he killed a good person.
He killed Carmine Falcone for calling him for making fun of him, essentially.
I didn't shed a single tear for Carmine Falcone.
Oh my, or not Carmine,
No.
or Alberto, whatever the one. Seriously?
Dude Falcone. What was his name? Oh, Alberto. Yeah, it was Alberto. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, none of that got you. None of that screamed
No.
Not even.
Oh no, a guy willing to kill in the underworld, sure, yeah, but I mean, like, kind of expect that. But you know what?
Okay.
Hey fans, let us know in the comment section at what point you thought that the penguin really was villainous. Like, what moments really stuck out for you?
I don't know. I'm episode 1.
And then he ends up in that penthouse in the sky.
Yeah.
In that crumbling building, which I think is a beautiful metaphor. Like, obviously, yeah, sure, East Side. He probably paid nothing for that. He's literally like paying for the renovations. But I love that it's a old crumbling building that he's turned into his palace. And that is such a beautiful metaphor of his insides, of how just fucked up he is. And then he's dancing with his girlfriend, and he's making his girlfriend pretty much be his mom. And, yep, that whole situation.
That was so weird.
Yep.
But he's a mama's boy through and through. This is everything he's ever done is to get his mother's love and affection. This is the backstory that they gave the penguin.
Even when he was a kid, he was like, I'm gonna give you everything, Mom. I'm gonna get you a penthouse with a view of Gotham. You ain't gotta do nothing.
And it's not the fact that he has this undying love and devotion to his mother that's weird. I love that. Right? It's the great thing about the Penguin and what they did with this character. But the whole dressing your girlfriend.
That hair. It was the hair that really did it.
No,
And you're like, that wasn't her.
No, the whole you did so good, like saying things to him that his mother would say to him. It's just like, why did we have to take it there? Like,
he needed that final validation. He needed it. He never got it. He needed that proof that he did it. He's there. I mean, deranged man.
Well, maybe
He's
that
a DC villain.
Maybe. Oh, well, I mean, that does show a little bit into his psyche of,
yeah,
you know, what he needs to soothe and comfort him, and what drives him to be the supervillain is not just the status, the attention, and the respect. It's not just money and power, respect. Penguin. It's just it's just his mom's love.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, but still, to see them. Okay.
So much, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
A great series.
People of all creeds and colors. That is it. That was the Penguin.
Spirit Fingers. Still a great series.
Amazing series. I will absolutely rewatch that. That is something that, if I can get a physical copy of it before the bastards take everything from us, if I can get a physical DVD copy of that series, I would love to have that. It's wonderful. Fans, friends, what did you think this show needed? What do you think this show gave us plenty of? What was missing? Do you think you needed some more hot Theo Rossi action? Or was everything exactly what was needed? You know, let us know what you think in the comment section. While you're at it, like and subscribe, because it makes Andrea feel better. And
I need a season 2.
You need a season 2? I think I'm good. I think I'm done. I don't think if there's any more, it's stretching already. It's like, I think wrapped up pretty bow. I'm good.
They can leave it there, but season 2 would be
the one thing I did not need is fucking Batman busting through a skylight and punching Oz again. Like, I didn't need that. I was kind of expecting that. I was like surprised that we didn't get any Batman, really, except for the spotlight at the end, which is wonderful, of being like, oh yeah, Gotham. But I mean, it's also funny because clearly Batman ignores the East Side too. How about that, y'all? And so, what do you think? What did you think of the show? What did you think of the whole series? Now that you got to the end, we spoiled everything. If you still haven't seen it and you just heard us spoil it all, what the fuck's wrong with you? Go and watch this beautiful show that has just had everything. Wonderful writers, wonderful everything. Colin Farrell, god damn. I think he can be done now. He can retire. He can just do comedies again. Or, you know, instead of just like dry comedies, he can just do like actual comedies. You're done, Colin. You did it. That was your opus. That was the best fucking thing I think you could ever produce again. Outside of The Lobster or In Bruges. Like, you did it, man. That was beautiful. It was fantastic. I have felt so many things. And I get to go through it all again because my wife's not here. She's out this week, and I had to watch the last episode without her, and then we're gonna rewatch it together. So I get to rewatch episode 8 and go through all that with her again and have this discussion. And I welcome it. I welcome a rewatch. I have no problem rewatching this series. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. I just rewatched the last 30 minutes again, and I was noticing shit that I didn't notice before. That's just what this show is, you know. Just a lot of feels. Thank you out there, Critic Boxers, for sticking around with us. And stay tuned next when we watch Supernatural, all 15 seasons of it, and all 24 episodes per season. We'll be at this until 2030 as we review each and every single episode. Stick around. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.